By now, you've probably seen the letters and the celebratory press releases and things that went around the Social Security Administration's 90th anniversary. But as I was reading over those again, I realized that there were a couple of little phrases in there that a lot of people didn't seem to notice. And today, I want to talk to you about what those are and what the implications of that may be for you. So, like I said, the Social Security Administration celebrated its 90th anniversary on August 14th. And of course, as a result of that, a lot of the different federal agencies issued some sort of memo or press release or speech or letter or something to commemorate that big event. But the one that we're going to focus on today is the open letter to the American people that was written by Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano. But before we dive into those details, just a quick word from our sponsor chapter. If you have Medicare, you absolutely need to give these guys a call. It only takes about 20 minutes for them to use their advanced tools and databases to figure out if you are getting the very best out of your Medicare benefits or if you're leaving money on the table. They can look at how much your prescriptions would cost across different plans, all sorts of cool things. And if you're already on the best plan for you, they're just going to tell you that. So you really have nothing to lose. So I encourage you to give them a call. It's 100% free, just takes 20 minutes of your time. Highly recommend reaching out to them. But for now, let's dive into that letter about the Social Security anniversary. So, one of the biggest assurances that I really liked in this letter came in the form of just a couple of words. So he wrote, "You've probably heard people say that Social Security will not be there for you in the future. That's not true." Okay. And then he went on to elaborate a little bit. And he said, under current law, there is enough dedicated revenue for Social Security to continue paying full benefits until 2034. After that, there would be sufficient income to pay about 80% of scheduled benefits into the future. Now, if that freaks you out a little bit, don't worry. There is more coming. There is another part of this. He immediately said, of course, Americans cannot afford a 20% reduction in their Social Security benefits. That's why Congress will act to shore up the program before any shortfall occurs, just as they've done several times before over Social Security's 90-year history. Now, I personally loved that. And the word will there makes a big difference. He's not saying they may do it, he's saying they will do it. And for a while on this channel, I have been kind of repeating that belief. Of course, I don't work with the government, so my answer is they may do it. I expect them to do it. It wouldn't make sense for them to not do it. So I've always tried to offer that comfort that Social Security will continue into the future. But it's nice for the Social Security Commissioner, who obviously has a lot more access to data and things, to offer that assurance that yes, it will continue into the future. Those benefits aren't just going to suddenly disappear. Now, of course, there's a catch. Just because Social Security is continuing doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue the way that you and I understand this program to work right now. There was a lot of talk in that letter about potential changes. Not that they were necessarily proposing anything concrete, but just that they mentioned in several different places the changeability and the malleability of the Social Security program. So here are a couple of excerpts. It says, over the decades, Social Security has evolved to meet the changing needs of the country. In another place, it says, its strength lies not just in its design as an earned benefit, but in its adaptability or its ability to change. And then, of course, at the end, it says, just as Social Security has adapted and strengthened over the past 9 decades, we remain dedicated to ensuring its continued vitality. So, again, talking about the adaptability and the changeability of this program. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that there have been quite a few changes that have been rolling out over time. And we do our best to cover those and make sure that you're aware of those as they happen. Now, as a clue to what changes might still be coming for Social Security, there was one line of the letter that said, quote, working with our independent office of the Inspector General, we have moved at unprecedented speed to resolve half the value of $18 billion in potential savings from unimplemented audit recommendations within 2 months. We are continuing our drive to resolve the other half, end quote. And so then I took that and I went and I looked for that audit document, and I found one from March of 2025 that claimed it had about $18 billion in potential savings in it. So I think that's the one they're referring to. It listed 183 separate audit recommendations that had not been implemented yet, and many are redacted for security reasons. So we don't entirely know what those are or how they would play out, but those were mostly for more like technology security. There were other things, especially involving like representative payees and making sure that they're documenting things correctly, dealing with overpayments and whatnot. So I'm confident that we're going to see additional changes and minor tweaks to those things roll out over time, since they've stated that they intend to finish the other half of those recommendations. The big change that I think is coming to Social Security is one that they didn't really hide anywhere. They said it in a couple of different places, but I just want to make sure that you're aware of this because this could have a huge impact on how you personally interact with Social Security. So, one of the recurring themes in all of the announcements was this idea of a digital first Social Security Administration. That phrase digital first appears in a lot of different documents and statements across the board. For example, Frank Bisignano wrote in his letter, "We have begun to transform Social Security Administration into a digital first agency." So, what does a digital first agency even mean? Well, from what we've seen so far in their changes, we know that that means AI and automated self service phone lines, more online self service tools, scheduling appointments online. And then they keep using this other phrase that's leveraging better process engineering. And if you don't know what that is, I had to look it up too. And that basically means that they're redesigning the workflows and the systems and the methods for better efficiency and reliability. So, changing up the way they do things, hopefully cutting out some of those extra steps and making everything a little more streamlined. Now, in addition to this, they do want 200 million people registered for and using My Social Security accounts by the end of 2026. And that is kind of an audacious goal. That is a large percentage of the American population registered for and using those accounts. Now, of course, on the one hand, this could speed things up, but it could also cause frustrations for seniors or those without internet or those who maybe aren't as comfortable with technology. So, if you need help using that technology, I recommend reaching out to the area agency on aging, maybe contact your local senior center. Sometimes they have courses or people who can help you with that. Your local library is a great resource for getting help with technology. And you may also have local nonprofits in your area who may be able to assist you with this as well. In addition to this rollout to this more tech friendly Social Security, they also fixed the My Social Security website. And honestly, this statistic is really alarming to me. But they said that until July, the My Social Security portal was down about 29 hours every week. That seems ridiculous to me. Those 29 hours were mostly caused by scheduled maintenance that was supposed to take place in the early morning hours when the demand would be lower. But 29 hours a week is a lot of time that that website was inaccessible to people. Now they're saying they fixed it so it's available all the time. You can access it 24/7. And of course, you can use that portal to check your benefits, your payment schedule, file paperwork, all sorts of different things. And they are going to be expanding what you can do within that portal as well, from what I understand. Now, in addition to that, they are also prioritizing the expansion of appointments. The letter said that they expect to launch an online scheduling tool so that you can schedule appointments to file for benefits. That is expected to launch by the end of the year. They also said that the share of visitors with appointments increased to 30% this year compared to just 6% last year. And they really liked that because the average wait for someone with an appointment is only 6 minutes instead of the usual like 30 minutes or so. So it's kind of better for everyone that way. In addition to that, they also congratulated themselves on a number of other changes. For example, the average wait time on the National 800 number is down to single digits instead of 30 some odd minutes. Although that seems interesting to me because I have heard from a lot of you that you were on hold for 5 hours or more when you were trying to reach Social Security. So if you want to just drop me a note below and let me know if you've called that number recently, what your experience has been like. I would love to hear your take on that. They also said that field office wait times are down 30%. They've upgraded phone systems in all field offices so that 30% of all calls are handled instantaneously, and 90% of all calls can be resolved via self service or convenient callback options. And of course, they also said that the disability claims backlog is reduced and hearings only take about 60 days now, which is apparently a historic low. But of course, lived experience can be a little different. And I've heard some mixed messages from those of you who have made those calls or gone into the office. So I always love to know more about your personal experience. And of course, if you're having a hard time reaching an actual person at Social Security through that hotline, we have another video that walks you through how you can kind of navigate that automated system to try to reach an actual human being if that's something that's important to you. And as we wrap up here, just one more quick shout out to our sponsor, Chapter Medicare. They have a 5-star rating on reviews.io. People are thrilled with this service and they're saving a lot of money and getting a lot better benefits. So I hope you'll go check that out. And don't forget to go check out our other videos for more ways to save money and get free stuff. I'll see you there.